Hello and welcome to the Performance Physique podcast. My name is Arj and I am your head coach. This podcast is all about helping you with your running, your nutrition and your training. We take the jargon out of sports science to help you realise your goals faster than ever before. Let's get started.
I'm just proud to be South Asian and queer.
Love that. Representation needed, and it will be on TV. Will you be watching it though? Text me on 81333. Start your message with the letters WM. And that is it. You're updated with all of the latest things.
Rakeem Omar.
At breakfast.
Right, thousands of people are going to be taking part in the Great Birmingham Run this weekend. There's 3 different events happening on Sunday. The 10K race, the half-marathon, and there's the junior and the mini events as well. But honestly, I've done a 5K. I don't know how anyone puts themselves through this. A half-marathon. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to be speaking to people all week to figure out why they're doing this, because I think everyone has a story of why they would put their body through all of that. And right now, I've got someone behind the runners, Arj from Performance Physique in Solihull, who's a running coach. Morning, Arj.
Morning, Rakeem. Thanks for having me back.
Thank you for being here. I mean, not only do people do something like this, but you are the person that pushes them through training to get ready for something like this. You train people for marathons, for races, and everything else. How do you get someone started for something like the Great Birmingham Run?
Well, I think the key thing is here, I'm the coach. I'm not the one doing it. I'm not crazy enough to be doing that at this moment in time. But I think it's understanding a motivation why. As long as you have a motivation to do something, you can always go and work towards achieving something. A lot of the people who will be running this weekend won't have run a marathon or anything further like yourself in a 5K before. So this will be a real test of their mindset of whether they can get past the hour mark and keep pushing on. But there's a lot of different components that go into their training.
If someone's just starting out, I did a 5K once, and I think I could have done a 10K that day. Do you think 10K is a good place to start?
Yeah, to be honest, you can start at any point as long as you have enough time in order to train for something. We had the London Marathon just the other week, and in the build up to that, a lot of people hadn't run more than 5K in that event either. It's just about allowing yourself enough time. So a good starting point is 12 weeks for someone to train for something who perhaps has done a 5K. Obviously, you can break up that half marathon training by entering a couple of 10Ks, but it really does come down to how well prepared are you in the first place. So have you been doing 3 runs per week, say, and a little bit of strength training? If you have, you would be in a good place to run a half marathon in around 12 to 16 weeks, even with very little experience.
Oh, wow. I don't know how anyone's able to put themselves through something like a half marathon, let alone a full marathon. If someone's running on Sunday, then what tips have you got for them?
Yeah, so we're getting very, very close to race day now, aren't we? So it's really important that before we think about anything new, we always remember the one key rule, which is don't try out anything new which you haven't practiced in training. That's the most important thing. This week now is your taper, so where you're reducing perhaps the volume of exercise that you're doing, but you're actually keeping a little bit of the intensity there. So if you run 3 times per week, do those 3 sessions per week. Make sure they're very easy in intensity though, because your running is obviously going to be your main facets of Sunday's event. You also want to make sure that you're doing a little bit of mobility. So you're keeping loose, you're doing maybe some yoga, dropping into maybe some easy classes throughout the week, but nothing high intensity for a class environment. They're not going to be tailored for your run. And then just make sure, have you practiced or have you considered what your nutrition is going to be like on race day? So we want to have a lot of carbohydrate in the couple of days before. If we're wondering what carbohydrate looks like and what we should be thinking about, just think, what does a child like to eat? And that's generally the way forward for race day.
So is it like lots of bread and chips and garlic bread? Is that?
Yeah, we've all heard of the pasta parties, haven't we? Yeah, so pastas, breads, rice, all of those kind of items are great in the couple of days prior to the race day. And then when it comes to race day, again, it's really important that you practice this, otherwise it's going to come back to bite you. But you want something very simple, some orange juice, some white toast, even some Haribo. You'll see people on the course offering Haribo out to the runners. It's always a great environment, seeing that happening along the course. And you just want to make sure that you have your fiber low and your fat content low just for race day. And this allows us to get as much energy from those foods into our muscles to power you along that course.
Some great tips then. All right then. Well, Arj, you don't know who you're helping right now. Someone could be listening and is definitely running a massive race this weekend, and you've just given them some amazing tips. I mean, that person's not me, and maybe will be me one day, but definitely not
Absolutely,
this weekend.
Rakeem. Let's do it.
Let's just put a pin in that and we'll come back to it in a future day. All right, Arj? Thank you so much for being here and definitely winning the award for the deepest voice on the breakfast show today. That's Arj from Performance Physique in Solihull. If you are running the Great Birmingham Run this weekend, I'd love to hear from you.
Thank you very much for listening to the Performance Physique podcast. Don't forget you can find us on Instagram. It's at performance_physique. You can find us on Facebook, Performance Physique, or if you just head to performancephysique.co.uk, we'll do our very best to help you. It will mean the world to me, though, if you can share this podcast with one friend this week. Right, for now, take care.